But can I talk to you? I know you did me wrong. Hit a song, can we talk? It's all good. But can I talk to you? Good evening, sir. How you doing?
What's going on, folk?
Good, good. So as everyone can see, we got one of the two of the fantastic duo, Dr. Dino. Um, they say you guys are the Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis of the economic world. Which one are you?
That would be Jimmy Jam. I would be the Jimmy Jam. You know what I'm saying? The piano player. Dr. Lance would be Terry Lewis, the chairman, the bass player.
Okay, okay. That's interesting. What made you guys come up with that analogy of being like the Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis? What is that? Where
Because
you guys get that
in that realm, of that era of music, and we all know that music is the language of the world that everybody is in love with, and everybody that does it at a high level or treated as royalty or wanting to pretty much be duplicated in that area or in any other area you feel that they're resounding. Uh, Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis in the 80s, 70s, late 70s, early 80s, from the time Minneapolis to the Jacksons and Mike and dealing with Janet, they ran everything. They were just hit makers. Everything they touched would go. They had the answers. If you wanted the answer, you wanted Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis. You go ahead, you can make some records, but if you wanted a hit, you go to Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis because Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis understood the frequency of the area that they were in. And they understood how to use that and utilize the talent that understood that they were on that frequency also and get the world to pretty much fall in love with it. So what you do is you take the same formula. It don't have to be music for say just be music. Music is anything that frequency that you're on that your mindset is in that is harmonizing, that resounds in you, that puts you in a euphoric feeling or a nostalgic feeling. That could be anything from a licorice stick to your first car deal. So you just find a way to produce.
I got you. I got you. Now, Dr. Land says things to the sort where he hears business kind of like music notes. What you think he meant by that?
My perspective, you never really know what a man he means, you know what I'm saying? You know what he says, and you know you use the perspective according to the experiences that you have. And that's what makes you compatible. That's what makes you think, even though you may be talking about two different analogies, you could take an analogy, kind of like the Messiah. They say he used to talk in parables.
Yes,
You know
sir.
what I'm saying? It wasn't that he was talking different languages. If he was making a point about to a carpenter, he was talking in carpenter language. He was making it to a plumber or a doctor or accountant. All the people that was around him, he talked in that language. But it also was still was conformed to the frequency that was harmonizing to whatever music or whatever product that he wanted to get done.
Got you.
Yeah,
Now, do you actually play music? Do you have
I
any
played
musicians that
I
you
played
like?
the keyboards for a little while.
Really?
Yeah, that's why I said I would be the Jimmy Jam. I played the
So
keyboard.
you actually play the
Yeah, I
keyboard.
played the keyboards. Yes, sir.
And Dr. Lance,
Is a bass player.
he's a bass player.
Yes,
Got
sir.
you. So maybe when he was saying that he hears business like music, he's able to see the notes, the ins and outs of different types of.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Most definitely. Most definitely. Like I said, Dr. Lance, when he talks in parables, just like I say with the Messiah, like the Messiah. When he talks in parables, he's talking to somebody that knows that lane that he's referring to.
I understand.
We refer to ourselves as producers. Everything is music to us.
Yes, sir.
Everything is music. Dr. Lance hears it through notes. You know what I'm saying? Being a bass player, I hear my harmonies through numbers.
So you're the hook guy. You're the guy that understands the hook.
Right,
He
right,
writes the verse, and y'all
right,
like go
right.
like the
I put
verse.
the
You
count
know.
on
Got you, got you.
it.
Every 16, you know, jump
Yeah,
over the 8 or
right,
whatever. I
right.
got
So
you.
yeah, you have to get to that point. And that's the point to know exactly what my mentor, my partner meant with that because his mind is so vast. You know what I'm saying? I never do that when I talk to Dr. Lance. I know what he's talking about. No, I'm in the area of knowing what he's talking about. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to say, nah, I know exactly what he's talking about because it gets, oh, okay. So you just keep up, and the way you keep up, you don't go outside and go in his lane. You're saying you stay in the lane that you make music in, because it's all gonna harmonize anyway if it's supposed to be together.
That's it. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So, having said that, can you give us a little background to Dr. Dino? I know you're from New Orleans, but just give us just an idea, a little bit of your New Orleans story and how that transitioned to you becoming the man you are today.
I'm a Swan baby, the product of Paulette Duplessis and Richard Franklin, two folks that were living in the third ward when I was conceived, which is uptown New Orleans. But I was raised mostly downtown New Orleans in the seventh ward. Love my seventh ward. You know what I'm saying? Uh, my life was beautiful as much as I knew life to be. In New Orleans, I say it's a blessing. Number one, you don't really know about poverty because culture is so rich there. The wealth of love is so rich there that if you're not thinking about economics, you wouldn't even think that you're broke. You know, so this is the area and the culture that I was raised in. Like I said, Third Ward, Uptown. A lot of folks know about the Third Ward from the hip hop era, the Calio Project, and that's where my mom and them, everybody was from the Calio Project. Uh, Master P, No Limit, you know what I'm saying? A lot of those folks, the Mets, just a lot of great individuals, you know what I'm saying, artistic individuals, business wise, street or corporate, that came from this area. Third Ward at that time was mostly for the working class, and I say darker skinned people, you know, because I tell folks all the time, this was the privilege and treasure of growing up in New Orleans mentally, not just physically, mentally, understanding the spiritual realm of everything, that everything have a spiritual counterpart to it. And it doesn't have to be fleshly necessarily connected to it for you to understand what it's doing or what you shouldn't be doing, if you understand what I'm saying. So in saying that, which leads me to uh, one of the cultures that's um, preached and exercised around the world, bigotry. You know, which they use between the two things that they made up, the white and black people. But before I even had, I ain't gonna say racism. Before I encountered bigotry with a Caucasian or a European type, you know what I'm saying? We had passe blancs, people that we called in New Orleans and passed for black. To me, I didn't know that was white people to me. By the time I got to the Caucasian white people, you know what I'm saying, that was the second base of it. So just like it was being treated on the Caucasian side, you got treated that way with the passe blancs also. I came up in an era where it was still the paper bag rule, meaning that if your skin was darker than a paper bag, you know what I'm saying, you couldn't go in any of the lighter skinned blacks' house. You could sit on the porch, you could play, but you can't go inside the house. So, like I said, so I'm seeing all these things, and you're thinking, "Oh, roots was roots," and I gotta wait till I get to a white person and be mad at a white person. No, I could step right outside my house, go around the corner, and experience the same thing, and they look just like the people on TV. So, in saying that, that wasn't it seemed like, oh, that's a bad thing. Nah, it was honing. It was like chiseling that stone, getting you got to experience everything, and that's why we love New Orleans. New Orleans, we call it the Big Easy. You know what I'm saying, life is easy. It all depends on what you think easy is, but I'm talking about from a spiritual level of my perspective of growing up in New Orleans. It was easy to get into anything, whether it was good or bad, because the whole city was encompassed by art, and art, just like music, it's art. No matter what it is. You know what I'm saying? If it's corporate, if it's structured, if it's in judicial, it's all music. New Orleans have that counterpart. It has that feeling when you walk into it. You just feel love. It just sucking. It's not anything you see. It's a swamp. I call myself a swamp baby. It's a lot of green. That's the beauty of it. But the thing about it is no blue water, sky. You know what I'm saying? White sands. No big lights like in Vegas at nighttime. But as soon as you get it there, it's like this is the most beautiful place that I've ever been. Why is that? That's what I grew up in. And even though it was bad, we made stories. The thing about it is there's angels there. There's a spiritual presence there that the ones that's not supposed to be touched won't be touched. And this is what the world need to get back into. Not being revealed, coming back into remembrance. Remembering who we are. Because that's what got us through. Everything, anything, no matter, it's still getting us through. Coming back into remembrance. Not being revealed. Remembrance. Oh, this is what you are. This is what New Orleans was. It was just a melting pot of remembrance.
It's three things that I think about, particularly when I think about New Orleans: the jazz, the food, jazz, and the history. So it seems like gumbo is the perfect dish to explain what New Orleans is in the fullness, the bold taste,
Mm-hmm.
the variety of proteins, the stew with the rice. You know, the okra has to be the base that sets everything off. You know, the roux. You know, um, so how did music affect your life? Because I remember you said something, and maybe you could share with the audience in regards of how the hip hop sound was really shaped and formed from New Orleans.
Not just hip hop, everything. Everything. We go all the way back to jazz. The first recorded urban music, and now this information was given to me by my friend, award winner, Grammy Award, ASCAP Award winner, Devious, the rapper, uh, Louis Armstrong. There was no urban music. There was no what you call R&B music. Louis Armstrong was the first one that instilled what they called R&B music into to the world. Rock and roll, all this stuff, jazz music, which is my perspective of it. It all comes from jazz. That's why to me, jazz is the hardest genre to play. You really have to be a musician to play jazz. You know what I'm saying? Everything is a snippet of jazz. You know what I'm saying? Hip hop, rock and roll, R&B, classic music. It's some count, it's some frequency, it's some note that they took from jazz. You know what I'm saying? All these things start in New Orleans. Why would you say all these things start in New Orleans? Because all this is black culture, right?
Yes, sir.
And what folks need to know is the oldest black community in New Orleans, I mean, in the United States, is in New Orleans, the area called Treme. That's the oldest black community in the United States. So everything that's black, it makes sense that it comes through there.
There was a TV show called Tremaine, right?
Yeah, it used to be a TV show called Treme.
Hmm.
Uh huh. Yep. So Louis Armstrong, uh, the sound that resound with me in New Orleans that captivated me because you got to recognize all everything is a note. Everything. You know what I'm saying? Even the essays that you write, your agenda that you when you're writing the notes down to your wife. You know what I'm saying? Just think about it. You know what I'm saying? Even when you're writing in your sentences, you know what I'm saying? You're writing according to a cadence. It ain't just writing. You write to what as you write. You can repeat the cadence as you're writing.
Melody.
It's music, yeah.
Yeah.
Melody, it's music. You know what I'm saying? It's the same thing. It's the same thing. Oh, so in saying that, if there's different notes in music, that means there's different frequencies that resound with each and every individual because every individual is different.
Yes, sir.
You know, the note that captivated me that I correlate with the word love is that 808. You know what I'm saying? And if it's the natural, that stand up bass drum. Boom, 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 boom.
Yes, sir. Marching band style.
Yeah. But you know what I'm saying? But really, but if you start looking at history, where does that sound and where did that drum come from? Because that's how we used to talk to one another. We still to this day, and they're not thinking about that. You're gonna find that if you do a little investigation, right now they're studying our language of our ethnicity, especially because of texting and what you guys call short handwriting and all syllables. And you look at it like, what the heck does that mean? But what happened is we can look at those letters, and because we know the frequency, we know the tone. So we put the vowels in. So now what you find out, even in the world that we're in right now, that they're studying a language called tonal. Guess who language is tonal? Ours. That's the way that we've been conversating. We've been conversating through music, through notes, through melodies, through harmonies. We don't have to say words to one another. This is part of the remembrance. We call it deja vu or I can't believe that happened. No, it's called remembrance. Nothing is new.
So is that the sound that Master P and Manny Fresh and that's the
Oh,
sound
love.
that they were getting?
Yeah, I mean, you from hip hop. As I was saying that you started thinking about KL and then Beats by the Pound. Yeah, and but on top of that, this what Manny did. Manny put that snare cadence on top of it because Manny is the godfather of bounce music. Manny started bounce music. It's Manny from the Seven Wall. That was a Seven Wall sound. I don't want to get off the point. I don't want to get off the point. You see that they have they use war cadences.
Yeah,
That's why that type of music had that type of effect. They're war cadences.
yeah.
Boom, boom,
Yes,
boom.
sir. For war.
No limit soldiers.
Yes, sir.
Cash money is an army.
Yes, sir.
You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? You'll get the bling and you get all the love behind it. But also, what it does is I tell folks all the time, and I'm going to clarify this statement. The frequency that we operate in New Orleans, I don't care how bad the neighborhood is, or how worse they say this person is, or don't mess with them. New Orleans is full of love. It's full of love. And even the worst part, people that did the worst people that they describe, you will find that they operate by this rule. We don't make friends, we make enemies. Meaning that I don't care as long as you stand up and you seem like you got integrity and we can feel you. We don't have to become friends. We are friends. Any true New Orleanian will back that up. Even to the point where if y'all really hit it off and you came back to New Orleans and you didn't stay with us, we've seen that's offensive. So yeah, so saying that we don't make friends, we make enemies. And what that means, if somebody that got that much love and they willing to freely give it to you, you don't really want to see their hate. That's why that area became the murder capital of the world. But everybody still loved going to that place. Why it's always been the murder capital of the world. Make sense of it. Love gonna always overpower. That's New Orleans. So in that 808, I resonated with that 808. The 808 drum, the sound, the frequency, the movement that it made, that it caused you to do. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir. Move your body.
But it also can infiltrate any and everything and harmonize with it. Anything. Just think about it. You put it on classical music, it fits. You put it in rock and roll music, it fits. You put it in nursery rhyme music, it fits. There's no way that boom boom.
That's right.
Why? It represents the heartbeat.
Yes, sir.
No, there's no frequency that moves you more than that one. Boom boom. Because there's no frequency that moves you more than this one. Boom boom.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So now on your Instagram, you go by Dr. Dino D Fly.
Yes, sir.
So where you that? I mean, obviously you're a dresser.
Yeah.
Is that in New Orleans? I mean, did you get that from New Orleans? Is
I
that
got my
just who you
reputation
are?
in New Orleans. Yeah, yeah. Seven Ward understanding. They know that I'm one of the flyers that come out the Seven Ward. I ain't say D fly, one of the flyers come out of Seven Ward. Word to Erskine Parker, you know, and my younger brother also. But that's where it comes from. The word, the name Dino B Fly is actually the name of my mother's three children. So my original name, my government name is Damien. But my people call me Dino. My little sister middle name is Vashan. That's where the V comes from. And the Fly comes from my younger brother. That's what they used to call him, Fly. So Dino V Fly, when I chose my name years ago, didn't know that's why I was choosing it, but something came over me saying, man, who you want to be? The character I want to be is my mother's three children. So that's where the Dino V Fly comes from. And so it just so happened to fit that I'm into fashion and I love fashion. I'm one of those ones that believe that people look before they listen, no matter what. They look before they listen.
What happened from the worst days?
I can recall about 13 years old when I call what most folks said jumped off the porch. And the way that I was raised, and I tip my hat to my mother, you know what I'm saying, my aunts, my uncles, you know what I'm saying, and all the OGs that poured into me, that let me know, you know what I'm saying, now you're different. You're here to do something, which people like us, we always know. Um, 13, man. And I recognize at 13 with all the mentorship and my mother's blessing because growing up in New Orleans at that time, it was rough, but also to know that my mother was encouraging us by God to say, you know what, let this one run, let him go. And at 13, the reason that I stepped out into the world as the character that I call Dino V Fly is because I seen the future. I seen everything that I'm doing right now. And I knew the people that was instilling more love into me, knowing that I was about to go into a dragon, a matrix of devaluation growing up into the hood, but being able to still enough in me to be like, all that stuff, no matter what you're going through, you're still going to be able to go through your plight and get through your journey. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, so I seen that. So at 13, I was that one, that was hardly ever, I can't. I was the why we can't. Because anything that I was allowed to observe and I asked a question about, obviously it's because I seen some type of results that came from the question. Correct? I grew up free that way. You know what I'm saying? Some folks call, oh yeah, he smart out the mouth. You know what I'm saying? You don't listen to, he doing too much. No, that's because my surroundings allowed me to do that. So going out into that, I jumped off the porch at 13 in the hood, and I tell folks all this time that that's another blessing of being a black man in this ethnicity in the time that I was in. I had the mindset instead of going to college, and I'm just saying, these are things I was thinking. Instead of going to college, you know what I'm saying, to study and do research on what I see that people go to college and do study and research, why don't I do it here? You know what I'm saying? I understand they don't have us on the cameras. They're not talking about us in the news unless it's something bad that's going on. But I know that they're here and they're coming here and they're studying us. Why they're studying us? In being studied, you find out why they're studying you and recognize, okay, these thoughts and these dreams that I have in my head, I can get these done. I can get it done. But it's not going to be according to, I see it's not going to be according to the realm or the route, yeah, the route that my contemporaries are. You the outcast, but you still got to be the cool dude, which was a blessing from my mom. You know what I'm saying? You look at all these things, and I tell folks, think about your life. Really, remember, my mom was, it's life we was talking about. My mom, in as far as getting us, because she's the one that got all of us, me, my brother, and my younger sister, into dressing. Because even though we were poverty, like I say, she was influential. She was an it girl, if I can say it that way. You know what I'm saying? We were the type of kids that were in the hood. Okay, those are the it girl. That's the it girl kids. So they got to be also. So that's how you get round into the. You got to look the part first. She was honing me before I was even getting there. She seen the future too. So I exercised that because that's one thing that was my defense in going from neighborhood to neighborhood and friend to friend and network to network. People liked the way I dressed. It was simple. Like, oh, that's it. At least, cause all I need, how I say, motherfucker, all I need a person to do is just hear what I'm saying. And the quickest way I can get it to get them to hear what I'm saying without any resistance is to be a fly, brother. It's easy. So I'm learning, you know what I'm saying, as I'm going through the neighborhood, growing up through school, going through the neighborhood, going through puberty, going through my mission of life, of how to study the plan and the plan of the people that I plan to have around me to get what you need to get to. And I tell people all the time, but you come from a hood. We come from poverty. Poverty is not broke. Poverty is not a situation. It's a system. And it's not a broke system. It's a
You can
multi-billion
talk to
dollar
me.
system.